Oh, look, we have another Bikini Armor hit piece, written by Kotaku, of all people. In other news, dogs bark. All right, so I went ahead and zoomed in a little bit here on the side because I want to get into this. First of all, before I dive into this article, I want to say that this argument has been going on since the beginning of video games. I've grown up with video games, since the 80s and 90s, and almost every other year there's a hit piece about how women are portrayed in video games. We all know that. We've seen that happen. But this has to do with an upcoming game called Lords of the Fallen 2. So let me get into this a little bit. So it says Lords of the Fallen 2 studio paid a gaming YouTuber to promote its boring bikini armor. Oh, wow. They paid a YouTuber to promote stuff. Because we don't see that every day, right? So as you can see here, here's some of the art pieces, the concept art that they have for the game. Honestly, this art looks pretty good, and it fits the fantasy aesthetic pretty well, in my opinion. So it says, in her song Prophet, whatever it says, I'm not going to pronounce that. They don't make statues of critics. They don't make statues of fans. Doichi didn't win a Grammy by catering to the whims of her label or her followers. A recurring theme throughout the album, alligator. What does this have to do with the game? I think they're talking about some music artist. I don't care. A common refrain in video game spaces is the importance of player feedback. Obviously, quality assurance and bug fixing are vital parts of the game. True. Development process that require meticulous playtesting and iteration towards the truest version of any given game. Well, if you've seen what a lot of AAA studios are doing lately, playtesting their game is definitely not one of those. But some players are convinced that their personal preference are just as important as, if not more important than, technical feedback, and that game developers are obligated to encode their opinions in a canon. No, that's never been true, ever. People just like what they like. Like, the biggest problem already with the hypocrisy of what Kotaku is saying is here, they have written so many hit pieces slandering other games because they did do what they wanted to do. Don't spare me this bullshit, Kotaku. In 2026, one of the most radical things a game studio can do is ask its players what they actually want to see and listen to the answer. Yes, says the YouTuber in the background NPC, is a sponsored video about the upcoming dark fantasy RPG Lords of the Fallen. I think I've heard of the background NPC. Video is a bizarre marketing campaign for a new in-game collection of generically horny female-only armor. I'm going to stop right there for just a second. I'm going to get into this. Just because the armor looks like this doesn't necessarily mean it's a gooner game or they're trying to appeal to a male gaze. They're just trying to put in an aesthetic that fits the fantasy narrative of the universe that the game fits in. Just because I'm playing a game with female armor that looks like this doesn't mean I'm playing the game one-handed. I still need to control the camera, okay? The point is this is an aesthetic choice that the developer decided to put in the game. And hey, look, if I'm going to be staring at a female character, I might as well enjoy what I'm looking at. That's just the facts. You can't really argue that. And on top of that, I just want to point out one other thing. I know many women video games in my personal life, gamers, sorry. I don't script these things. I just kind of say what comes on top of my head, and I don't always word things right. So it is what it is. You'll accept it. We'll move past it. I know lots of women gamers in my life that look at this stuff and go, oh, actually, I like that. That's cute, or that's adorable. That's what they say. Or they just don't care. It doesn't bother them. They don't have an opinion one way or the other. And then the other bunch of them look at this and go, actually, I prefer this. This doesn't hurt women in any way, slight, or form. And if it is, it's their own insecurity and their own jealousy. That's the facts. Anyway, moving on. The armor drop is a blatant attempt to, oh yeah, her. Okay, she's the background NPC. I know her. I am subscribed to her channel. Go check her out, by the way. The armor drop is a blatant attempt to cater a oh my God, here we go again with that word. Misogynistic. Shut up. Just shut up with that. Culture War Fanatics, as a background NPC, complains about the designs of female characters such as Abby from The Last of Us 2. Yeah, because she looked like hot garbage. And other hot women who certain gamers can't get it up for. And that's not the issue here. That has never been what it's been about. Do they not get it? They just don't get it. They don't get it. Thoughtful character designs is stripped down familiarity. First of all, a lot of the characters, these other people, when they don't like this stuff, they want boring designs, apparently. So anyway, let's move on. I can go on whole rants, by the way, but I'm going to move on. So, in contrast with CI games, unapologetically beautiful male fantasy mannequins of sort we've seen billions of times before. So when you have a character like, let's take Conan the Barbarian as a perfect example. When you have a male character in a loincloth with barely anything on, big muscular dude, why doesn't anybody say anything about that? Nobody? Nothing? Oh, but if you have a Red Sonja looking character, oh my god, everyone loses their minds. CI Games presents the incredibly generic, stereotypically revealing outfits as revolutionary. Well, in this day and age, it kind of is. It just means we're just going back to creators just making games and not giving a shit. You wanted fierce, they wrote on X. You wanted beautiful. You wanted provocative. The outfits were revealed exclusively in a 20-minute sponsored video. The studio literally hides behind an approving female content creator. Spare me with your crap, Kotaku. Spare me with that. I could go on a whole rant. It has nothing to do with them hiding behind a female creator. She legitimately supports the stuff. She legitimately has spoken out about this stuff numerous times. Lots of women have. I'm done. You know, I'll link the article in the description below if you want to read it. I can only lose so many brain cells reading an article from Kotaku. But the point is I'm so tired of this argument. Just let it be. If you don't like it, don't play the game. If you don't like this kind of stuff, then maybe fantasy and sword and sorcery is not for you. It's not hurting anyone. And that's just that. That's all there is to it. If you want to go play your kids' games, go watch your Cocomelon, go play your SpongeBob game, whatever. The rest of us are going to play these fantasy games that we enjoy. And there's a reason these games are rated M. Okay? Because they have stuff like this in them. If you don't like it, there are plenty of other fantasy games that don't do this kind of stuff. Go play Dragon Age the Veilguard if that's what you want then. That's all I have to say about that. Anyway, if you guys liked the video, please like and subscribe if you are new here. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.